That was the testimony of former officer Kim Potter. When she testified in her own defense, the jury has come back with a couple of questions, but one of them is, what do we do if we can't reach a consensus? Suggesting that there's the possibility of a hung jury here. Of course, the case is in the hands of the jury. Now, you all know that I have strong opinions about issues in this case. So do our expert guests like Jesse Weber and Dina Dahl, who are still with us. But we want to hear from you. A lot of opinions out there. So what say you, NewsNation? Let's start with Holly in Newport Beach, California. Holly, how you doing? What do you got?
Hi, Dan. What do I got? I think she should be charged, the second charge, with culpable negligence. I think she failed her duty. And there's someone that isn't here anymore. And sadly, 2 lives have been ruined because of her actions.
Do you believe it was a mistake, though? You believe it was an error, right?
100%.
And do you feel bad for her?
I can't say that I feel bad for her because I don't think she felt bad for him. And so my compassion lies with the person that died. I'm sad that her career is over and that she's going through this in her life, but it bothered me from the very beginning of the body cam that shows her reaction, that not once did she say, call an ambulance. Did she rush to his aid? Did she even know that he was alive or dead? It was very disturbing. All she cared about was herself. And she's an officer who is supposed to be serving and protecting the community. It was just disturbing.
Well, that is the argument the prosecution was making in this case. Holly, thanks for the input. Thanks for joining us.
I want to make something clear, though. I want to make something clear. I am 100% pro-police. So I want to make that clear.
I don't think that it's there's a conflict between being pro-police and being pro-accountability in certain cases. This is a tough case. This is but I've said that I think that this is a closer case than it is to you. But look, the reason I want people to weigh in is because this is the jury. These are the kinds of conversations that are going to be happening in the jury room. So Holly, thank you. I appreciate it. I want to get to the next call, which is Charlie in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Charlie, how you doing? What do you got?
Hi, Dan. I'm doing all right.
Hey.
So this is, I swear, most of my life, I've been very open-minded. I go into a case not knowing, where I stand. But for this one, I went in thinking there is no way in the world that I would vote to convict her, send her to jail. I think she did show that she is not a very good police officer in the sense that, after it happened, she tend to make sure everybody was okay. She was too panicked, which I understand, but it's not being a good police officer. But I just can't envision convicting her. So I guess that obviously biases my opinion to say that I don't see 12 people convicting her.
Well, let me ask you, just thinking about what Holly just said, do you think she was negligent or reckless in the fact that she literally ended up grabbing her gun instead of her taser?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I would actually be curious what you thought of this, Dan, that I personally could picture myself doing that. I mean, 26 years of training, never having actually dealt with this before, doesn't stop you from being a human being. So I personally, I think I feel like I could have made this mistake. So I'm curious, do you think you could have made this mistake?
Look, here's why I can't answer that question, because I would have had to have been a police officer to answer your question. I think it's very dangerous for non-police officers people who've never been cops to say, for example, here's what I would have done if I'd been a cop, if I'd been on that scene at the time. I will tell you the fact that she had to literally reach to the other side to get the gun where she shouldn't have been reaching is it's a big leap here to suggest that, well, look, it could happen to anyone. It doesn't happen very often. It has happened, but it doesn't happen very often. Yeah,
Some of the jury agrees with you because they asked to see the gun today, right? So they're thinking, how do you make this mistake? And I just keep yelling at my TV, but she did make the mistake.
Right. Look, and the question becomes, was it a criminal mistake, right? I mean, that's the issue here. And that's why I think that a lot of the jurors here are not going to be looking quite at the letter of the law. And they're going to be just going from their gut and saying, they all agree it was a mistake, but does it rise to that level of criminality? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so one part that I actually also think, and again, I was biased, but I also think the prosecutor did a lousy job. And in her closing argument, she was going on about this choice. She chose to become a cop. She chose to use force.
Yeah.
But she didn't choose anything negligent. The negligence was just a mistake. And by the way, they do a job, unlike you or I. If we make a mistake in our jobs, nobody dies. I don't think they a police officer can be held to the standard where a mistake, which is inherently likely to cost somebody their lives, puts them in jail. And and I'm sorry, one more point about that is the other Holly made the comment about she thinks that she was just worried about herself. I mean, I actually think if you watch the video, you can kind of tell she goes from, oh my God, I shot that boy, which I thought was kind of an important word, because it kind of showed some sense of she's thinking about the human that she just hurt. And then she goes, I'm going to prison. And I don't think the idea of her being hysterical about having her life ruined is all that, selfish of her. I'd be upset.
Well,
I'd be crying too.
I agree with you. Jesse Weber, you've always said you found that to be particularly incriminating. I haven't always thought that that's such a big deal. I think people are going to view it, many people are going to view it the way Charlie views it.
Look, no one can doubt that there's a human aspect of it, and they're probably having those conversations, but they were instructed. They can't let emotions decide this case. The problem that I have with that video, and it's something that Holly mentioned before, is that it was all about her. Oh my goodness, I'm going to prison. I'm going to prison. She didn't do enough to really show the attention to Daunte Wright. The thing that, and I want to make it clear because we keep hearing this common theme from the viewers who are great, is that the conscious act she took was reaching for a weapon. She says she reached for the wrong weapon, but that was the act that she took. And the 5 to 6 seconds that it was held up in front of her is all that matters in my eyes, because she could have seen that wasn't a taser.
All right, let me take a quick break because, Dina sees it a little bit differently. Some of our viewers see it a little bit different. Charlie, hey, thanks for coming on the show. Great to have you.
You didn't plan to use deadly force that day, did you?
No.
Because you knew that deadly force was unreasonable and unwarranted in those circumstances.
I didn't want to hurt anybody.
That was Kim Potter on the witness stand in the manslaughter trial, where she's been charged after killing 20-year-old Daunte Wright. She apparently mistook her gun for her taser, which she had intended to use. We're back with Jesse Weber and Dina Siegdahl, our guests, but we're also talking to all of you about your thoughts on the trial, because it seems, based on some of the jurors' questions, that they may be divided back there, and you, our viewers, seem to be divided as well. Let's go to Ross in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Ross, how you doing? What do you got?
Hey, yeah, hi, Dan. Thanks for having me. Excited. Long-time fan.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. What do you make of this?
Well, listen, first of all, my sympathies go out to the victim, Daunte Wright's family, and all of this. It's just an awful tragedy from the get-go. Your first viewer there, Holly, I agree with her overall. Officer Potter, she's guilty. She did it. The video shows it all. The video speaks for itself, in my opinion. The thought process behind it, the psychologist at the hearing, I don't think that did anything. So she should be charged. Oh, I'm sorry, convicted on the least charge, in my opinion.
Yeah, and do you feel sorry for her?
Of course, I feel sorry for the officer. She's been on the force a long time. It's the worst thing that can happen to an officer is make a deadly mistake. She didn't intend it, but it happened. Training aside, and maybe that's the problem there. It speaks to that effect. Right side, left side, who knows what's going on there. And the timing of the whole thing after the George Floyd is just awful to it. Through the lens of the media, that did her no favors.
Well, that's for sure. And as you may know, on this show, I talked about the question of whether the media would be covering this at all if Daunte Wright had been white. That's a separate question from the legal questions. That's a media question. But Dina, coming back to what we're hearing here from Ross, what do you think the jurors are doing in discussing possible sentences? Meaning, sometimes I think they're not supposed to, right? They're not supposed to get involved in sentencing discussions. But I think in this kind of case that the jurors may be back there saying, well, you know, I think she should get a little time and not a lot of time, et cetera. Is that possible?
Anything is possible. I do think that, as you said, it could be in the back of their mind. This idea, again, we know this is a mistake. Is it criminal or not? And what do you do with somebody like that? You know, how long do you want them to be in jail? Do you want them to be in jail at all? So what the punishment holds absolutely makes a difference. I mean, we have this thing in this country called civil negligence as well, where it's only money that's involved, and where you would say, sure, somebody who made a mistake, it's not criminal, but it's civil. There's all sorts of negligence. So I think that it's hard not to actually know that you have somebody's life in your hands when you're a juror there deliberating. And I think that she showed true remorse. I think her crying on the stand was real. I think that she showed remorse in the moment. You know, she was a very cautious police officer. The fact that she hadn't ever used her gun or deployed her taser before. So you could imagine her in that moment really being overwhelmed with the enormity of what she had just done.
Jesse Weber, what do you expect we're going to see tomorrow?
See, I think, as I said before, there could be an about face. May very well have the jury come back and say, look, we're still undecided. Maybe that's the case. I personally believe that there is going to be a conviction on at least one of these charges, particularly because they're going to get a chance to view this gun one more time, really understand the differences between the gun and the taser. That is going to be an analysis for them. I think it's going to be about face. The evidence, in my opinion, is just too strong. Yes, it was a mistake, but a mistake can be criminal. Yes, a defendant can regret what they did, but they can still be convicted. That's my opinion.
We shall see. Jesse, good to see you. Dina, great to have you. Thanks for coming on the show. And Holly, Ross, and Charlie, thank you all for joining us as well. And we want you guys to weigh in live on the major stories of the day. Now, we'll probably continue covering the Kim Potter trial, but tomorrow we're going to tackle the January 6th commission, the one-year anniversary approaching. I think the January 6th commission is important, but that the liberal media coverage of every bit of committee minutia is excessive. I'm more concerned about warning signs moving forward than on looking back, but I'll bet that many of you disagree on both sides of that. Tell me, tell us. Maybe you'll change my mind. Go to newsnation.com/DAL. Zoom in live on the show. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.